AI content, inaccurate history, voiced by an AI that doesn't know how to say anything it's talking about. Well, that is the channel Britain Retold. Today, we'll be looking at one of their videos, titled Funny Things You Were Guilty of in 1970s Britain. As you can already see, there is an AI-generated thumbnail. So definitely off to a great start.
Before hair straighteners existed, the only option for a girl who wanted the long straight look was the ironing board.
Not to pause already, but there's some faint robotic echo that comes after the speech. So yeah, that is an AI voice.
Drape your hair across it, lay a piece of brown parcel paper on top, and somebody, usually your mum, sometimes you...
Yeah, steam irons didn't exist, I'm pretty sure, in the 70s in Britain.
would run a Morphy Richards steam iron over it like they were pressing a school shirt. The paper was supposed to stop it scorching, but it barely made a difference. You'd smell burnt hair for the rest of the evening, find split ends you hadn't had that morning, and wonder why your scalp was stinging. And the following week, you'd lie across that board again, because the share look was worth it and nobody had invented a better way. Then there was the smell, not the burnt hair.
Again, why are all of them wearing the same thing, just different colours?
The other smell, the one that hit you the moment you walked into any disco, youth club, or village hall on a Friday night. Route 33, Henry Cooper.
Yeah, that cream there doesn't come in a tube like toothpaste. It comes in a tub.
Told the nation to splash it all over, and the nation did exactly that. Kevin Keegan was in the adverts too, the pair of them flicking towels around in some sort of gymnasium, grinning like they'd just discovered.
Yeah, there's not really much that I have to say about that because I don't know anything about that. Let's continue though.
Secret of attraction. Teenage boys bathed in it. Grown men weren't.
Again, they're all wearing the same thing, just different colours. Also, what is that red case there that's on the floor? And why does it look like there's an Australian flag?
Better. You walk through the door of any social event and hit a solid wall of aftershave so thick you could taste it at the back of your throat. The girls weren't innocent either. Charlie by Revlon came out in 9.
Yeah. High karate is a men's scent, but I guess you do you. You can wear whatever scent you want. Scent's not really gendered.
73, and suddenly every woman in Britain was wearing enough perfume to fill a room on her own. Old Spice for the dads who thought they were being sophisticated. High karate if you were feeling adventurous. Nobody thought they were overdoing it. Everyone was overdoing it. Every school morning, teenagers across Britain spent more time on their tie than they ever spent on homework.
Yeah, no, that's just not accurate. At all.
You fold it, scrunch it, and knot it until the front was barely 4 inches long and the knot was the size of a fist. The thin end got tucked inside the shirt where nobody could see it. You'd walk down the corridor like that, and the second a teacher appeared at the far end, you'd yank at the thing desperately trying to make it look normal in about 3.
Yeah, why is that? What's, I think, supposed to be a secondary school got drawings that look like they were painted by a 4-year-old? Also, why do those people look 30 years old?
Seconds flat. The teachers always knew, and you always did it again the next morning. The first generation of British families to discover cheap package holidays.
Yeah, why would you take open butter? It would melt. You would take it in a tub or something, or in the packaging that the sticks of butter come in. You wouldn't just be taking it on top of what looks like parchment paper.
packed their suitcases like they were heading into enemy territory. Half the weight was PG Tips, Heinz Bacon.
I love that AI generated photo. Like, flacented, regent, Roland? It looks like it says, like, what do those even say in that corner? With the departures board.
Meats, blocks of cheddar, and a packet of digestive biscuits. You'd land in Benidorm and spend the first.
Yeah, that sign saying full English breakfast, eggs and chips. That wouldn't be in English. It's in Spain. Also, I don't think they'd be serving that in a Spanish restaurant.
Afternoon, looking for a pub that served Watney's Red Barrel and something resembling egg and chips. The local food was not to be trusted. Paella was stared at.
Paella, huh? It's pronounced paella.
Like it might move. You came home with a sunburned nose, a straw donkey, a sombrero, and a bottle of Fundador brandy that sat untouched in the drinks cabinet for the next 15 years, and you told everyone you'd had a lovely time. Platform shoes. Men and women wore them through the mid-70s.
Yeah, platform shoes weren't that popular in the 1970s in Britain.
3 or 4 inches of cork or wood on the sole. You'd seen them on Top of the Pops every Thursday evening on BBC One, and that was it. You had to have a pair. The problem was moving in them. Cobblestones were lethal. Wet pavement.
Again, you wouldn't really be wearing them out to that occasion. You'd be wearing them out to certain occasions, not just in the middle of a alleyway that has cobbles.
Were a gamble with your ankles. Running for the last bus was genuinely life-threatening. Twisted ankles were everywhere, and men were just as guilty, especially in the early part.
Yeah, you wouldn't be standing in the middle of the road like that. You'd probably get ran over. And why are 2 people just... No, not even 2, like 5 people are just staring him down? What is he doing that requires you to stare somebody down?
The decade when glam rock meant every lad in the country wanted to look like Mark Bolan.
Glam Rock Freddy reference.
You'd teeter along the high street like a baby giraffe learning to walk, and you thought
That is the weirdest simile I have ever heard.
you looked fantastic. Saturday tea time and Tom Baker was on. His first episode aired in late 1974, and for the rest of the decade.
This is distracting us so much that I just need to talk about it. What is that child doing with that cushion? Like, seriously, what?
Saturday evening meant the theme tune starts and your stomach drops. You had no real idea what was going on in the plot. Something about Daleks, or Cybermen, or a giant.
It's a Cybermen, not Cyberman. It's a small difference, but I do realize and know the difference.
Spider from a planet you couldn't pronounce, or the Zygons, which looked like something from the bottom of a very old pond, which you
Not gonna lie, that pond description is pretty accurate. They do look like octopus.
watched every single week. And
Yeah, why would they be facing the supposed camera? It's not a camera, because that's an AI generated image. Like, they're not facing the TV, which means you're not watching it. And also, why does that wallpaper look like it's just eyes?
you were terrified, properly behind the sofa, hands over your eyes, peeping through your fingers, terrified. But come Monday morning at school, you were completely brave. You hadn't been scared at all. You'd watched the whole thing without moving, obviously.
Doctor Who isn't really that scary, though.
If you ever made Angel Delight, butterscotch or strawberry, you know what's coming. A sachet of powder whisked into milk.
Why does that packet there just say Bezert mix? No, Yeah, Bezert mix. Add milk. Like, that's not how you spell it. It's dessert, not Bezert.
Turned into something that almost passed for mousse. The pudding itself was fine, but the real prize was the whisk.
That does not look like a whisk to me.
Who got to lick it clean was the winner, and siblings fought over those beaters like nothing else in the house mattered.
Oh, it's a beater,
Then
apparently.
there were the ones who ate the entire bowl before it had set.
That just looks like saliva or snot dripping there.
Scooped it out half liquid and claimed the packet was faulty, and then made another one. Out you go, back before the
Yeah, washing liners like that didn't exist in the 1970s.
lights come on. That was the entire parenting plan in 1970s
That is actually true. Parenting was like that in the older days.
Britain. No phones, no tracking, no check-ins. You could be 3 streets away or 3...
Why would you be building houses next to an allotment? It would, like that, it would literally decrease the value of the house, and people wouldn't want to buy it. Also, why are they putting sticks into a murky-looking puddle?
Miles away, up a tree, down by the canal, playing on a building site, cycling without a helmet across the dual carriageway. Nobody asked where you were going. Nobody asked what you were doing. As long as you came back roughly alive, no questions were asked.
That was
and here's
true.
The thing. Every parent on the street was watching. Not just their own...
Every parent on the street was watching and stalking. Like, why does that just sound so ominous, the way that the AI voice said that?
Kids. Everyone's kids. If you stepped out of line 4 streets away, your mum somehow knew before you got home. Mrs. Brennan at number 9 would clip you round the ear herself and then tell your mother who'd do it again. Friday night, the pub.
Why does that guy just look like he's collapsed on top of that slot machine thing for not winning?
And in the corner, the fruit machine. You could hear the coins dropping and the reels spinning from across the room, and you were convinced you had a system. You understood the nudge. You could feel when the machine was about to pay out.
Why does that just sound so sus?
Feeding it 10-pence pieces for an hour and a half, and it owed you. You had it all worked out. You went home having spent more than your evening was worth. You went back the following Friday absolutely certain...
That's a different guy. That's totally a different guy.
This time would be different. It never was. And while you were inside losing money to a machine, your children were outside sitting on the wall, or on the bonnet of...
Would they though? I don't think that was commonplace.
The Ford Cortina. Weekend pub trips followed a clear protocol. Adults inside, children outside. You'd be handed a warm bottle of Vimto.
Yeah, that doesn't...
Through the window with a soggy paper straw.
I was gonna say that before, because I've already watched this video, but that looks like a napkin, not a straw.
Bag of Smith's crisps with the little blue salt twist inside. Then
that looks more like some Quality Street than it does the salt shaker and those crisps.
Waited. Half an hour became an hour. An hour became 2.
Pretty obvious AI-generated image there.
We thought twice about it. The strange thing is, most of the kids who were left out there remember it as a perfectly good afternoon. Now the house, if you live...
Yeah, houses didn't look like that in the 1970s. They didn't look cursed. Like they had a...
Now the house, if you lived in
like a magical spell
in the 1970s, you looked
binding
at it and
them.
thought it was lovely. Brown carpet.
Yeah, I don't think even people in the 70s would have looked at that and thought it was lovely.
Orange wallpaper, swirly patterns in mustard.
Yeah, that just looks like everything's falling apart.
And chocolate on every surface. The avocado bathroom suite was considered the last word in good taste. An avocado sink, an avocado toilet, and an avocado bath that matched nothing in nature.
Matched nothing in nature? Avocados are part of nature. What the hell do you mean it doesn't match anything in nature?
Wood chip wallpaper on every wall, a shag pile rug.
That pen looks like it's been vomited on and chewed for like half a century. That also looks like the French fleur de lis. And random button, I guess.
You could lose a shoe in. You decorated your entire home to look like the inside of a digestive.
Yeah, you know that chocolate rock thing that people do at Christmas time? Why do the walls look like the swirling patterns people make into that?
Biscuit, and you were proud. The photographs still exist, and not one of them can be explained. And somewhere in
For me watching this, the music is so creepy and ominous.
that house, in a cupboard that hadn't been opened since 1974, sat a fondue set.
Yeah, drinks machines didn't look like that at the time, but anyway.
Every household either owned one or received one as a wedding present. You'd invite people round, light the little burner, dip chunks of bread into melted cheese.
Why does that bottle say Blue Nun? Is that a real drink then? Blue Nun. Because that's just creepy.
Burn yourself at least once and drop your bread into the pot at least twice. Someone would announce a rule about kissing the person next to you if your bread fell in. The cheese went stringy. The burner wouldn't stay lit. The whole thing was cleared away.
Why would you put it into a box if it had the cheese dripping down the sides? Surely you'd throw it away, wouldn't you?
Boxed up and put in the cupboard, where it still is, because you can't quite bring yourself to throw it away. The Twink Home Perm, 30.
Yeah, rollers to perm wouldn't look like that.
7 pence from the chemist. You'd sit there with pink rollers.
Also, that says Bistorer. Is that meant to be Restorer? And that says Neutralness. Is that meant to say Neutralizer?
In your hair, a plastic cap on your head, and a smell filling the kitchen that was somewhere between a swimming pool and a science lab. 20 minutes of your scalp gently burning, and then the big reveal. You looked like...
Has anyone watched Biker Grove? Because why does that look like the face of Amanda Buick from Biker Grove?
Like a startled poodle. The perm lasted months. There was absolutely nothing you could do about it. And somehow, when the curl finally grew out, people went back and did it again. Crossroads. ITV's soap opera set in a Midlands motel. It was terrible. Genuinely terrible. The sets wobbled on screen. Actors forgot their lines, and the mistakes were left in because there was no money to reshoot.
Yeah, I'm not even going to really say much about this one, because this is, I think, the truest out of all of them.
Characters vanished without explanation. One was last seen going up a ladder to put a fairy on a Christmas tree and was simply never mentioned again.
I don't know, is that true? I don't know.
He, in his woolly hat, wandered around looking confused, which was fair enough because so did the audience.
I mean, that's half funny. It would be a bit funny if I didn't... bit funnier if I didn't know that it was an AI script, an AI voice, an AI most of the imagery. This part like this where it's took from a show isn't AI, but everything else is. If it's not taken from a commercial or a show, then I know that it is AI.
Regulator, Lady Plowden, called it distressingly popular, and she was right. 15 million people watched it every week. You were one of them. You told yourself it was so bad it was good. You told other people you didn't.
So bad it was good, just like this channel I'm talking about here.
Really watch it. You watched it every single night it was on. And then the...
Just a second, what did that newspaper say? Because it looked like it said Ultra, and then something that looked like Turkish combined with Polish.
was the milk tray man. A man in black climbing a cliff, leaping from a bridge, swimming through a cave,
Yeah.
all to leave a box of chocolates on a woman's pillow.
Again, this is part of an ad, so, like, obviously it's real and not AI footage.
The actor was Gary Myers, and he did this from 1968 right through the decade. The tagline was, "All because the lady loves milk tray." Every woman in Britain quietly fancied a man.
Okay, We have some AI generated imagery here. Yeah, the tins were a bit wider than that.
Only existed inside a chocolate advert. Nobody said so out loud. Everybody absolutely did. Blue Peter was on every week, and when John Noakes, Peter Purves, or Valerie
Why do those two women there look like they're in a religious cult?
Singleton announced the appeal, that was it. Children across Britain turned into tiny
Yeah, carrier bags. Don't say carrier bag on the front, and also, what is in that bag?
collectors on a mission. Milk bottle tops, used
Yeah, those nails look like if you stepped on them, you'd get tetanus.
stamps steamed off envelopes, old woolly socks, scrap metal from broken toy cars. You bullied the entire household into saving everything. The kitchen filled with bags of unwashed foil and jars of old buttons.
What does it say under the word woolen there? Because I genuinely don't know. Also, that child is like, look, I found a piece of plastic that looks like it's from the ocean that the turtle might have mistaken for a jellyfish.
By 1971, one single appeal had brought in 7.5 tons of silver paper, and nobody was brave enough to tell you to stop.
Why is there a horse?
This one, the whole country was guilty of, sending the 9-year-old to the off license. Your mum would write a note on a scrap of paper. Please give Kevin 20 Embassy Regal and a box of Swan Vestas. You'd walk to the corner shop.
Yeah, this one is true. So, it's one of the least inaccurate ones of this channel.
Victoria Wine, or wherever it was, hand over the note, hand over the money, and walk home clutching a packet of
Why does that man there look extremely sus? And why does that cat look like it's working for that man?
cigarettes like you were doing the most important job in the world. The man behind the counter didn't blink. Nobody on the street said a word. This was completely normal. If you were lucky, you got a bag of crisps or a few pennies change as your fee, and you did it without a single question, because it meant you could buy sweets.
Yeah, those boxes look bruised and battered. I don't think if you'd just got the boxes, they would look like that.
On the way back. Saturday morning, multicoloured swap shop, Noel Edmonds, and that phone number, 018118055. You sat with your finger on the rotary dial, trying to swap your old Subutio set for something better. From late 1977, once Star Wars hit Britain, every child in the country wanted the same thing, Star Wars figures. You'd offer anything, your entire marble collection, a bike with one working brake, your brother. All you got was the...
Yeah, I don't really know what to say to that, but like, if you're trying to dial it, a phone like that, you'd have to pick up the handle for it to actually work.
aged tone, over and over and over. You dial, wait, get the tone, hang up and dial again for 3 hours.
Also, why does that child's fingers look like they're sore and bleeding? I think we need to be a bit concerned.
You never got through, not once. You'd spent the entire morning with your ear pressed to a phone in the draftiest part.
Yeah, I don't know if the wires on dial phones like that were that long.
House, achieving absolutely nothing, and you considered it a perfectly good use of your Saturday. And then Sunday evening, the chart show on Radio 1. You already know how this went because we started this video with it. But here's the part you haven't...
Yeah, I didn't show you the intro because it's kind of boring.
...thought about in years. You'd sit through the whole top 40 waiting for one song. And when it finally came on, the
Yeah, that child, I don't know what's happened to him.
DJ would talk
Or
over
her.
the intro, or the dog would bark, or someone would start making a cup of tea 3 rooms away, and somehow you'd hear the clink of the spoon on the recording. The tape was never clean. It was never complete. You kept
Yeah, I didn't know this until I watched this video again. Slade actually did make that song originally, but this other American band covered it like I don't know, like 6 or 7. Bruh, 6, 7, it's not even funny anymore. Like years later.
Way. You played it on your Walkman. You played it in the car. And it was still...
Yeah, Walkmans didn't exist in the 1970s. I don't think so, at least.
Favorite recording. The Morecambe and Wise Skip. That's
It's Morecambe, not Morecambe.
specific bouncy walk Eric and Ernie did at the end of every show, hands behind their backs, perfectly in time with each other. Their 1977 Christmas special pulled in over 28 million viewers. Half the country watched it, and at some
Why does everyone look so distressed in this video?
point, every single one of them tried to copy that.
I mean, I know it's an AI that's doing the script and the visuals, most of them, not the ones from shows or ads, and the voice.
Skip. You try it leaving the kitchen. You try it going down the corridor.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that popular to try it.
You'd grab your brother, your sister, your mate from next door, and attempt it together, but then you realised it is far harder than those two ever made it look. You fell over. You bumped into the door frame.
Yeah, why is she laughing? That guy could have, like, seriously hurt himself?
You did it wrong in every possible way, and you tried it again the next day. Some of you are still trying it now.
Yeah, that visual there on the TV is based off of something from the 90s that wouldn't have existed then.
Quite worked, but for a few seconds you were Eric Morecambe, and everything felt right. If any of that made you smile.
That was a look at Britain Retold, an AI history channel that is inaccurate. And this is the end of today's video. Bye.